Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Is anybody out
Oh, they want to make me watch ads,
That's why it's always on mute, right? I guess I should actually turn my audio so that it's, coming in through my headset rather than my computer speakers. It's sometimes a good idea. One, two, three, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, my voice isn't awful this morning. We're good to go.
Goob to gob.
Hello, Zerug.
Oh, I told the House of Many Doors Discord about this,
Whacker, nice to see you this morning.
Whacker.
Yep.
I am powered by Hazard Coffee at the moment, I have become sleepless,
I made a peanut butter and honey sandwich and have a glass of chocolate milk in front of me.
Oh yeah, Alta Toss was banned until December 31st, 99.99 for adding orb pondering to the game.
Wait, what?
For his mod, you can buy an orb and then ponder it to gain sanity.
I'm missing something here, but fair.
Alto Toss, the guy that does the
Yeah, no, I'm getting that. Like, was the ban real?
No, of course not.
Okay. I'm not the fastest sometimes when picking up on those things, okay?
I ate the sharpest bulb in the shed.
I once did landscaping for somebody and ended up, like, having to go back because I accidentally took too many of his shovels.
Oh.
Like,
You were trying to clear up...
too many.
What, he let you use his shovels and you accidentally just packed them up with your own stuff?
No, I debated with the crew. It's like, are these ours? They were like, oh, I don't know. And so when we got back to the greenhouse, we ended up with, like, the person who was more knowledgeable that saw said, like, why do we have like 8 extra or 7 extra like shovels and spades? And I was like, they're ours, right? And they're like, no. No, they're not. They don't even fit in the cabinet
Nicely
anymore.
Done,
That guy's yard was awful. It took 4 of us, like, a total of 16 hours to get his front yard done.
And yeah, this is a very, very, very long game, Hidden Boss. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's supposed to be my between games stream, but
Yeah.
we're doing a lot of it.
This can't be the most played game on WBPL. Like, there's got to be games played more than that. There's got to. Have we been here that long?
Yeah.
Oh God. As of late, yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Good old stretch.
Alright.
You gonna start streaming for me there, Noot?
No. No.
Time to map it up.
Yeah, let's go get more drugs and do some gambling,
We're gonna go see the skeletons.
No, we're going to Clayton's Mill.
Mm.
Oh no, I forgot to cheat. Don't you hate when you're caught not cheating?
I mean, I mod video games, so I don't even know what the definition of cheating is anymore, so... Like, right now, I'm trying to modify the work tab add-on for Wormworld so that it supports modded work types added by another mod, so my little cleaning robot can actually clean up napalm spills.
Nice.
Because, you know, sometimes it's important that you don't want the napalm spill to
Bonk.
be sitting on the ground.
I don't need more oils and perfumes. Oh no, $20 whole dollars.
Whacker, at that point you just cover the entire carpet with napalm, that way it all has an even stain. Like that's the trick.
Alright, so we got the box of factory goods. Now we're going to obtain the next instructions from Laplace. Its riveting is only increased in volume and severity. The crew threaten mutiny.
His exiled majesty wishes you to acquire an energy coil from the naughty doctors, croaks Laplace. Can we just buy it from them? Asks Dr. Delgado. Oh, certainly not, says Laplace. The naughty doctors protect their technology jealously. You will have to take it by force. More banditry. Dr. Delgado fiddles with his tie. This isn't what I thought we'd be doing. I imagined high adventure, dastardly but harmless schemes, and back home in time for dinner. I thought the hostage king was better than this.
Yeah, but they're naughty doctors. They perform terrible experiments. They kind of deserve this.
He scowls. I guess you're right.
To the naughty doctors.
The king of all hostages, you see. All the hostages have formed a Lord of the Flies type deal, and one of them has declared themselves the ruler of all other hostages.
Totally. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Cromlech. A forbidden tryst. We should stop this, he feels. It will harm your reputation. You look up into burning yellow eyes. You lay a hand on his chest and fade to black.
Yeah.
Alright, I find Cromlech standing in the cargo hold, staring thoughtfully at the blood-soaked monolith I'm gonna stick in a museum.
This looks just like the monolith in my old village, says
Hey, that's
Cromwell,
funny. That's where I stole it from. How cool. That's a
stroking
weird
his scraggly
coincidence.
beard. This would be terribly upset to see one of their stones away from the others, you know. It is the worst kind of sacrilege.
But not you. You seem so different from the other goat men.
I don't remember too much about the goat stones, says Cromlech. I ran away when I was just a kid. I ended up being taken in by a family of nomads in a battered old Connecticut, just like this one. You know, he says thoughtfully.
You talking shit about my Connecticut?
Who doesn't? I've always been too afraid to explore my ancestral roots, but now I'd very much like to visit my old homestead one day and reconnect with my species.
Yeah. Let's go gambling.
Itamu redeemed a pet. I have no pet. So it's up to you, Noot.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Hit the doors? I mean, it's an option. I don't think the door would appreciate it, though. It might. It might in this place, though. You never know.
The kitty has been pet,
Or your mouse. Yes. What happens if you don't use a mouse? What happens if you use that The keyboard button. What about then?
Who the hell does that?
When was the last time you told a door thanks for keeping closed and open when you needed it?
Huh.
I mean, that's how we worship the automatic doors when we go into stores, isn't it? You fall to your knees and thank the magics for obeying your whims. Hey, Itamu, no touching the monitor. I already have dealings with people who put fingerprints all over monitors and.
I forget what quest line that's for. Yay, free darkness. They're just giving it away.
Couldn't you just put a bottle outside and get as much as you wanted?
I doubt it. It's not concentrated darkness. That's an outrageous tax, And I already pay taxes to the city of Keys.
You do?
I don't know, probably. I own a house there. Property taxes and such.
Combat ahoy!
This one's for Plinky. Yay, free whiskey. Now. Dude, come on, I'm not getting up to pet my... Oh, read this. I wanted this to happen last time, but I couldn't make it happen.
And that just happens this time randomly, I guess. The crowd silently part for you and shuffle back in place behind. They are so tightly packed together that the long-starved dead are standing with the living. You get to work coaxing the god smoke into your bottles. It's frustrating work. The smoke dances coyly from your fingertips. The bottle slips from your hands. As you bend to pick it up, one of the silent gray crowd reaches forward and undoes the straps on your gas mask. Disaster, a searing rush of holy smoke down your throat, and your eyes darken.
I find myself muttering pseudo-religious nonsense. For hours I'm plagued by visions of sunflowers.
A twisted pillar of charred flesh that's once God looms on the horizon. Itamu, I will admit this, not a chance. Not a chance.
I'll collect all of the pets and then deliver them on our first break to my cat. But I got them cold feet, and they only just started to warm up,
There's free stuff, Itamu, and then there's punishment. That's punishment.
The Canetipede barrels towards you, flying black flags, belching unhealthy-looking black smoke from a cracked chimney. Useless spikes have been added to its leg joints. A skeleton is lashed to its front like a trophy. "Kill me," says Dirch, the brain portlock on the radio. "I'm a monster. I deserve it, My name
Everything
is
is
Noot.
initiate combat.
You might have heard of me, I think this guy just might be mentally ill, but oh well. Welcome to the 1800s, buddy. Ow! Hey, where do you think you're going?
Not here, it turns out.
Searching through the wreckage, you discover the battered corpse of Dirch, the brain Portlock. In life, he was a monster feared throughout the house. In death, he is shrunken.
Dun dun
In the cargo, I
dun.
discover dragon spice. I also discover a leather-bound tome. Flicking through it, I'm disappointed to discover it's written in a language I don't know. I... Oh, it was Genevieve I slept with. Altos! Okay, so Genevieve's gonna be really mad at me, but Cromlech isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Aww. Oh well.
Shame.
Eh. She frigid anyway, literally. Very low body temperature. Let's fetch Mirrored up, save a little time. It's been a hard month, admits Agnes. We had to spend a lot of money on repairs. Then Misery Guts fell ill and we were short-staffed. And Carol's Flag has put out a new drink that everyone's talking about. But we still turned a profit despite all that, so it could be worse.
Not much of a profit. You could. Why are you doing so bad? We need to implement lean procedures. We're going to be lean. We're going to be a money-making machine. Right?
Totally.
Lean? No? Okay.
Lean.
Six Sigma. We have to implement Six Sigma manufacturing at a restaurant. Whacker, I'm sorry. we all have that in the back of our head as a trauma. All we can do is laugh about it at this point. I always like the eye cracks.
Yeah.
They're the nicest things. Also, the one that looks like a cat eye is the best, although it's probably meant to be a keyhole eye.
I probably should have repaired, but oh well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any RPGs with vehicle customization systems, and the only ones that I can think of are like...
Tabletops.
Or things like roguelikes, which isn't
yeah.
quite... Yeah.
CDDA.
The orb glides through the dark viridescent light, sending mad shadows dancing across the walls.
Demand that they give me an energy coil.
There is no visible reaction after you make your demand, except the strange energies that begin to shimmer in the air between you.
Oh well.
There's a couple There's a couple games completely designed around vehicle customization. Like there's that battle royale one. I forget the actual name of it, where you have to like find and scavenge parts. But that's not quite. Yeah.
Oh dear, do they also have a desiccation engine?
Maybe, I don't know. The first game that I played with vehicle customization was actually Earth 2150, an old RTS. I guess Crossout might have been what I was thinking of. I could have sworn it was a much older game than that. There was something with dwarves in it. Yeah. Although I'll admit, my standby my peak, holy crap, I can customize this is gotta be Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead, where it's just like I want a boat that's also a helicopter, and you can. It just is real hard. It's real hard to do. I loved playing Earth 2150 wrong, and like winning the battles you're not supposed to win, so you have stupid amounts of resources, or just so you can just fuck around and find out. Or did you know that game had a terraforming feature that if you built and unbuilt bridges, you can carve your way through mountains? Yeah. Also, that game had an experience system for turrets and tanks that would, like, if you could keep one alive long enough, it would get stupid strong. Like, it had 8 experience levels, and at the 4th one, I think your range was increased by 50% already.
The cracks finally give way, and a sheet of glass as tall as a church sloughs groaning from the orb's surface. It falls strangely slowly and shatters spectacularly when it strikes the ground. The rest of the orb starts to break apart with similar glacial grace. Searching the remaining fragments, I discover a glass coil twice as tall as I am.
Oh, that's cool. Glass coils, that's like
Ooh,
a
can I get
giant
another
spring.
one?
Demand they give you another energy coil. That's a bug. That's gotta be a bug.
Yeah, that's a bug. I'm not doing that again, but make note of that, Alto.
Dragon Tear. You could set up custom maps in that game, and I remember doing PvP once with a custom map that I made. That I made it so I had a bunch of aircraft in a bunker underground, and it's hilarious when they launch because when they launch underground, they show up above ground. So they basically just giant bombers showing up, just emerging through the ground to attack the
Obtain your
enemy.
final instructions from Laplace. The crew have prized its croak amplifier from its throat and hurled it into the dark. Its voice is now tinny and distant.
This is your final instruction, says Laplace. His voice back box is fading in and out, making him almost impossible to understand. The last item we require for the construction of the demon is a substantial instability, an ancient relic of angel crab.
What's that?
Angle crab, sorry. A jagged piece of crumpled nothingness, says Laplace. A malfunctioning fold in space, inherently unstable. You will have to be careful.
And how exactly do you expect us to get a hold of that?
The priests of Angle Crab are currently transferring it from the cathedral in the City of Angels to the more security vault in Old Hollow. That should be City of Angles, not City of Angels, right?
No.
Oh. This may be your only chance to get a hold of it. Ambush the convoy and take it from them. Another ambush, says Dr. Delgado, upon a group of defenseless priests? No, I can't. No more murder.
Yeah, this is too far.
Defying orders, croaks Laplace. The hostage king will hear of your insolence. I owe nothing to the hostage king, says Dr. Delgado, slamming his fist into the wall and making Laplace flinch. Do you think it never struck me as odd that so many genius scientists just happen to appear below the bay in a king's citadel Don't you think I had my suspicions about how we all ended up down there? Laplace opens his mouth to protest, but it's too late. Dr. Legato picks him up with a groan of effort, kicks open a door, and hurls the mechanical frog out into the dark. It bounces away into your centipede's trail of dust and smoke, croaking forlornly.
Silence at last. No more ribbons. Dr. Delgado comes to visit you after, apologizing profusely for getting you involved in this.
What now? Dr. Delgado rubs his hands together. It will be a matter of weeks before the hostage king discovers our treachery and sends some other pawns to do his dirty work. He may still be able to build the demon without our involvement. In the spirit of disclosure, Canute, I've heard of his plans for what he plans to do with the demon. Conquering the city of engines will just be the start.
You're right. He needs to be stopped.
I still believe the hostage king is reasonable at heart, Dr. Delgado says. After all, a man of science cannot be all bad. I think we can persuade him to end his plans. We need to enter the city of engines and speak with him in private. He will listen to me. We have a bond of friendship.
Nope, we're gonna kill him. Yeah, perhaps he will see reason.
I'm sure he will, says the doctor. I worked alongside him for years, helping build the demon's very first prototypes. Honestly, Canute, he is not evil. He is just focused on his ambition.
He smiles queasily and retreats to his quarters.
Yeah. Dragon Tear,
Well,
yeah, you're right. It did kind of come out at a point where RTSs were not as much of a thing anymore. And Cassiel, at least 7. There was at least 7 doors.
At least.
Yeah.
Probably more. Imagine.
Itamu, that would be a treat. The problem is he's under a lake. I don't know if we have some fire, but we might not have. No, we might not have that much fire.
Oh, I'm dumb. I just completely walked right past it.
You know, since ever you started doing things, there's been a statistical decrease in the amount of people alive in the House of Doors.
Shut up,
It's statistically significant.
Shut up, Judge.
The House is going to have to, really start funneling more people in. Otherwise, population levels are going to go down.
Genevieve goes to tell the Abstemi that the intemperate vampire has been killed.
He returns with a bag of guineas. My payment for killing Quentin, she explains. It's only fair we go halvesies. She painstakingly counts out 500 guineas. We can do this again, she tells you, if you're short of money. There's always more vampires losing control or clinging to the old ways in dark corners. It's an ever-expanding market.
How do you feel about killing so many of your kind?
Did you know that when we arrive at the house, most vampires consider it a kind of heaven, a promised land? She smiles, almost wistful. No sun, plentiful blood. But we don't die if we stop drinking. I fell into that line of thinking once too, and some of us never leave it. They're the ones who go on a rampage. They see the house as a buffet. And that's why us, the Abstemi, are important. Without them, most of our kind would have descended into savagery.
Why'd you leave your job as a therapist to come back to this,
I get bored easily.
Why did the Abstemi set up their headquarters in a city that bleeds?
We cannot drink the corrupted city blood. It is a filthy poison, but the sight and the smell of it torments us. Every day, a test that exercises our willpower reminds us what we must not become.
We should come back and keep taking bounties.
Then let us do our bit for the greater good of the awoken. Guinevere takes you by the hand. Her smile is sharp as knives. Come on, one drink. A toast to a long and successful career together.
Oh my god, I could, after all that fighting, I could romance her again,
Mm-hmm.
No, we share a wine and nothing more.
You try to top each other with increasingly silly toasts.
When the evening draws to an end, her cheeks are red from laughter. Alright, so I can replace her now, can't I?
Mm-hmm.
Because her conclusions are done. What is she? Is she my Heartlight Keeper?
I don't Samurai. There's actually like several genres like that. They're just so niche. Like, think of the style of games like the puzzle games like Lemmings. Like, there's not ever many of them, but there's usually one or two of them always. On the intersection of Rustbiter Cog and Bismuth Turning, you stumble across a burnt-out shell of a building with an Anthroparian standing outside. Anthroparians are like golems, at least superficially. They are built of gleaming steel rather than clay and stone and clockwork. More importantly, though, the strange technological permissiveness of the City of Engines has made them able to think for themselves. Where a golem blindly follows its programming, an Anthroparian makes decisions. Have you come here to attack me? Said the Anthroparian asks, noticing your stare. Its body is dented, its glass eyes whir as they focused on you warily. I should warn you, I am government property.
I'm not here to attack you.
Yet. If you do attack me, I am authorized to defend myself, says the Anthroparian. Abstaining from doing so is understandable.
What happened here?
This was the factory where I was built, it says. It had been here for 20 years. I was built here 2 years ago. Yesterday, it was burned down by the Soul Movement. Many Anthroparians were destroyed. It stands for a while in apparent thought. I cannot leave the City of Engines. Can you bring me some items? I will pay you. I earn 21 guineas a week and have never spent any of it.
What's your job?
I walk up and down the city, it says. I have a module in my head that allows me to receive telepathic messages transmitted from brainwave emitters. If I hear a message which violates regulations, I report it to the authorities. For this, I am paid 21 guineas a week. I am allowed a 1 hour of holiday every 2.5 weeks. It is a good job.
What's your name?
Some Anthroparians refer to them by their serial number, it says, but I think we should make an effort to adopt the customs of human society, so I've named myself Jeremy.
Why can't you leave the City of Engines?
If I left the City of Engines, my mechanisms would fail and my mind stop thinking, it says. This would leave me unable to work. I would also die.
Alright, so what do you need?
Unlike other Anthroparians, I have a special receiver in my head that allows me to process human brainwaves, says Jeremy. This necessary for my job is necessary, but it also provides me with an opportunity. I would like to analyze human memories and determine if the claims of the Soul Movement have any merit.
What are their claims?
They claim that Anthroparians can think but cannot feel, says Jeremy. They claim that our inability to feel emotion means we do not have a soul. They further claim that this makes us dangerous. I would like to assess these claims.
How can they have any merit? They burned down your factory.
I do not agree with their actions. But this does not mean their claims are false, says Jeremy.
Alright, so you want me to bring you memory boxes?
Precisely, says Jeremy. I will pay you 364G for each different variety of memory you bring me. It looks down. It has a clock embedded in its wrist. Ah, my holiday is almost over. If you have a new memory to bring me, meet me beneath the East Bigglewash emitter at 7 o'clock. So 2 years at 21 guineas a week. Let's do some quick math. And he was going to pay you 384?
Yeah. 364.
364? Ah, yeah. So he can buy 6 memories from you before he is penniless. Unless you spend a lot of time. A lot of time.
That is exactly 6. He did the math. It's exactly 6 memories.
Yeah.
Box of intimate memories.
Yeah. Yeah. But like if you spend a lot of time just not showing up, he might be able to make more money.
Yeah. Jeremy plugs the box into the side of his head and cranks the handle. For a few moments, his glassy eyes display an error message. Oh my, the error message remains for a rather long time. Finally recovered, he now hands you an empty... He's self-censored, nice, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Thrilling memories.
But yeah, you could just, like, not show up for another 2 years and he'll pay you some more, right? Because he'll have more vacation pay.
Totally.
Or more weekly pay. That's how that works, right?
Jeremy plugs the box into the side of his head and cranks the handle. For a few moments, his glass eyes display an error message. Huh. Huh. Is that all? He hands you the now empty box and a bag of coins. Thank you.
Are you just keep giving him thrilling memories?
No, I gave him a romantic memory and then a thrilling memory.
Okay, so you're going to try and give him one of each?
Yeah, you have to, you can only give him one of each.
Ah, okay.
Jeremy plugs the box into the side of his head and cranks the handle. Huh. Of course. Self-preservation. The fear of death. The root cause of it all, I suppose.
I suppose.
Ah. He says. I see. When he removes the box, he shakes his head slowly. This was worth the price, he says. I have experienced memories of places outside the city of engines. I visited places I could never go. An escape. Thank you. He might be starting to get it.
Maybe.
And bitter memories. Oh, yes, very interesting. I have experienced all the memories I need to, says Jeremy. In summation, disappointing. Nothing I experienced was unfamiliar. Intimacy, the desire for personal validation and self-replication. Terror and excitement, the desire for self-preservation. Sadness, the unfulfilled desire. Joy, the fulfilled. True, human brains squirt a few chemicals that seem to heighten experience, he concedes, but it strikes me that the soul movement is found on a category error. There is no distinction between think and feel. Jeremy turns to you stiffly, circuits wearing. Thank you for the help. I believe our affairs have concluded. Yay!
Yay, indeed.
Let me go to crew. Yeah! We got to bring Otto on to the crew. Oh, that's another glitch I've been noticing. For some reason, when I click advertise for a crew member, it sometimes sends me to my sends me to my Kinetipede.
Mm-hmm.
There he is, an impossibly huge man, 8 feet tall at least and rippling with muscle. The effect is undone somewhat by his tiny pince nez glasses. At first you thought he wanted to be your guard, but he is a devoted pacifist. Yay, new friend.
Friend! It's good to have friends.
Alright, let's cause some problems. I don't think it's only here. I've noticed it in a few places, but I will try to... I'll try to catch it next time I actually start a fresh advertise for new crew member chain in a city. I'll try and make a note of it, like mentally. Let's go to definitely talk the hostage king out of stuff. Crass.
The squid. Okay, sorry, wrong tab. The squid deposits you into at the center of the machine citadel, where the demon looms and grinds away at its calculations. The hostage king is here, on his chain-swaddled throne, surrounded by his ministers of mad science. Remember to kneel, whispers Dr. Delgado as you approach. Whatever we think of him, we are in his domain now. We must keep him happy.
Stay standing. I'm tired of this pointless ceremony.
You are impudent, growls the hostage king, the gears in his throne squeaking unpleasantly, but I shall forgive you if you have what I need.
Delgado, will you give it a try?
Your Majesty in exile, Dr. Delgado prostrates himself. Please, reconsider building the demon. I know you want to escape your chains, just as I want to return the world I was born in. But if it works, the machine will be far too powerful for any one man to control. Man, the hostage king's sunlight eyes burn brighter. The ire simmers. I am no ordinary man. I am the hostage king, a perennial, immortal, and unchanging since my time in the garden. The demon is the culmination of centuries of work. If you are not here to help me complete it, be gone. Two technic squid appear with a clap of thunder, their mechanical tentacles winding around you. We have to get to the demon, shouts the doctor. I have a plan!
Run!
You slip free from the grasping tentacles. All the monsters of the machine citadel are descending upon you. Adamantine crabs with clamping blunt claws. Squat, crash, shamblers, an entire flotilla of languid squid tentacles splayed. Even the scientist ministers are pulling guns from beneath their coats. Dr. Delgado makes a break for the demon. He's never going to make it unless you fend off the surrounding monstrosities.
Yeehaw!
A flash of blinding light. The sea machines reel black, their cogs squealing, their glass eyes sparking.
Let's make it to the demon.
He pulls 3 punch cards from an inner pocket of his coats. I prepared these before we came down here, he says. Each one is a set of instructions for the demon. One asks it to calculate whether it'll actually work. The second asks it to calculate what the hostage king would do if the demon did work. And the final one asks it to calculate how to escape the house. Adamantine crabs are scuttling towards you. Technic squid loom overhead, splaying their tentacles. Time. We don't have any time, says the doctor. What should I put in?
The third one. Calculate that shit.
You ram the punch card into the demon. Cogs grind and whir. A pillar of light, emerald light, bursts from the machine's peak, illuminating the filth black depths above. A screw rattles and pings free and pings lethally past your ear. The assembled monsters and scientists are silent in a moment of collective anticipatory awe. The gears of the demon grind and grind. Metal shrieks. A plume of smoke erupts. Cracks spread like spider web. The glass dome above is splintering, cracking. Great gouts of seawater flood down, washing scientists, ministers, and monsters alike in all directions. You think you hear the hostage king screaming before he, too, is swept away, thrown and all. The last thing you feel is a tentacle curling around your waist.
Darkness sweeps in.
You wade up to the rust-flecked beach of Tarwater Bay, Dr. Delgado by your side. He pauses to vomit a gallon of oil water onto his shoes. The technic squid that rescued you is washed up beside you, its mechanical limbs spasming weakly. It saved us, says Dr. Delgado wonderingly, running his hand across the Strig's arrowhead face. Why did it do that? He looked out over the black water. The rest of them are still down there, probably crushed beneath rubble by now. The hostage king will have survived, though I don't think he can actually die. Another long pause. Searchlights sweep the air. Dr. Delgado shivers and draws his sodden white coat around himself. Why did the demon explode like that? Was the question impossible to answer, or did it not find the answer it found? He turns and trudges up the beach, clearly not expecting an answer.
Let's take the squid with us. He friend.
Dr. Delgado is silent for most of the walk back to the Kinetipede. You drag the iron squid between you two, leaving a trail of rainbow slick brine. I shall continue to serve as your chief engineer as long as you'll have me, says Dr. Delgado, finally, as you stroll beneath the shadow of a hover cog. It seems I will never escape this house, and now I have nowhere else to go. Hey, we gained apprehensions!
I kind of want to take him with me if we escape. Feels
well, you know what?
bad, man.
Perhaps the demon did escape. The only escape is death.
I forget, Alto, so the other punch cards worth, just, save scumming to see them for the story, or nah?
I mean, Whacker, if we're playing Elder Scrolls, meth and math are the same thing. So just sit back, enjoy the skooma, and start writing it down.
Yeah, let's go for a whirl and see what would have happened if we use the other punch cards.
Okay. Ugh.
I can just try and shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Break free. Fire flare. First punch card. Will the demon actually work? You ram the punch card into the demon. Cogs grind and whir. A pillar of emerald light. Blah blah blah. I already did that. The speaker at the top of the demon swivels to face the hostage king. I cannot perform the task you have designed me for. Its voice is surprisingly human, only a hint of mechanical buzz. I am capable of calculating the trajectory of every molecule in the house, but I can no more predict or control the outcome than you can predict the movement of a dust mote dancing in the sunlight. Indeterminacy rules all. Even if you run the same simulation with the same parameters over and over again, it will be unique every time. Actions matter. Decisions matter. Intentions matter. There are always forks in the road. No pattern is the same twice. The hostage king slumps in his throne. A part of me always knew, he says finally. So you'll stop building the demon? No. I will turn it into an engine of war. I might not be able to predict and control the future, but it can still make a billion calculations a second. Perhaps now I can finally overwhelm the city above and regain my rightful throne, Sad,
Mm-hmm.
Together we'll find a way to escape the house. Just you wait, Oh, hang on. This is kind of different. Do you know, he says, he always told us ministers that we were the best of the best, the greatest geniuses in all the multiverse. I wonder now whether maybe only he chose those who were gullible enough to believe him, and who had a predilection for the matter sort of science. I won't be fooled like that again. Outrageous ambition and unlikely promises shouldn't be enough to win my loyalty. Yeah, now...
Dun dun dun.
One more time. The second punch card. What would the hostage king do with the demon if it worked? Do you want to read this one, Chris?
Sure.
Second paragraph.
The speaker at the top of the demon swivels to face the hostage king. Corpses clog the tar water. The city of keys destroyed, and the city of engines a monarchy once more. Centuries of tyranny, a harsh buzz of anger, and I enslaved, a demon in chains, forced to do your bidding until the house collapses in on itself once more. The machine citadel around you rumbles into actions. Chains snap around the technic squid, tearing their tentacles from their bodies. Pits open up beneath scientist ministers, and they fall screaming to the ground beneath gears. The adamantine crabs skitter panicked as bolts of green lights roar through them, leaving them twitching wrecks. Stops! Shouts the hostage king. Spare me! Without me, all the machines above will fail, and you will fail too. You need me. His throne shivers to pieces. Cogs scatter, spinning in all directions. He is left shaking on his arse at the demon's head base, hands raised in terror.
Yeah, let's let it kill it.
A coil of green light wraps around the hostage king like a serpent. He screams for a moment, a skeletal, stark black against the emerald glow. Then, with a sigh, he is dust. Take them back to the surface, commands the demon. Mechanical tentacles wind around you and Dr. Delgado. The last thing you see, as you are borne up to the inky depths, is the black, demonic monolith, surrounded by a cluster of crabs and truth shamblers. They are kneeling. You wade up onto the rust fleck of Tarwater Bay. Dr. Delgado pauses to vomit again. That went as well as it could have, he says, wiping his mouth. The hostage king is foiled. We should adjourn to the Kinetipede for celebratory drinks. He pauses, eyes shading his eyes, staring at the sweeping searchlights. Did you know? You always told us that ministers, we were the best of the best. The greatest geniuses in all the multiverse. I wonder
Oh,
now
that's,
whether...
After that, it's all the same.
I'm surprised the city of Key Engines just doesn't stop. But I guess he became the new king.
Who, the demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you guys want to vote on which ending you like best? How do I do a poll here? Well, while we take 5, we'll do a poll.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how to do a freaking poll. Oh, there we go.
You have made a poll. I don't see a poll yet.
Yeah, I'm adding it.
You're still working on it. Fair.
Alright, I put a poll up. Let's take 5, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Y'all like the crushed ending? Alright.
And guess what that's we're going with?
I wanted to see what that would do if I succeeded. The crushed ending is 3. The machine either can't calculate how to get out of the house or it doesn't like what it finds. Or the third possibility, it escapes the house itself. Ooh. Let's turn the science ministers against their liege. Ever wonder why so many of you so-called geniuses end up in the Citadel? The house didn't steal you from your old worlds. You were summoned, The scientist ministers stare at each other in consternation. The hostage king glares around at them, his sunbeam gaze making them flinch away like disturbed moths. So what if I did? You're my subjects. I rule over you by right, The science ministers raise their weapons and start firing. All manner of ammunition flies. Bullets, energy beams, bolts of lightning. Some seem to have remained loyal to the king and are firing at the traitors around them. But most are in rebellion, blasting the surrounding monsters to smoldering pieces. The hostage king screaming. You think you hear the hostage king screaming before he too is swept away, throne and all. And we got a free squid,
Yay!
But that's sad, because he doesn't believe he can escape the house,
That is fair. Sorry, I'm getting a call. I'll be right back.
No problem. We're gonna be advertising for a while anyway. Yeah, Luce. She's the one that we got in a box, by the way, at the cathedral. Whoa! Hang on, let's oh, look at the keys! Look at the jangly keys! I will now drink a beer while drinking a beer. I'm not gonna lie, most of these light bears I don't want to bring to another world. At least we know Genevieve wouldn't eat people. I drink when I stream. It's called performance anxiety, and it's why Bill Ward didn't join the last Black Sabbath tour. I managed to get to see Black Sabbath before they finally stopped touring for good, and they had the drummer from Slayer, I want to say. And he's only like in his 30s or 40s, and they're in their 70s and 80s. So, at one point, the drummer just did a 10-minute drum solo while I assume the rest of the band was in the back doing a starty-stoppy old man pee. Because the original members don't have the stamina he did, so he was just doing a 10-minute drum solo to give them a second. I do not. I don't know who we are talking about. Is that the drummer from Slayer? What do y'all think of Dio Black Sabbath versus Ozzy Black Sabbath? I think they're both good. They're just different, and I gotta be in a mood for one or the other.
Yeah, sorry about that. Someone wanted to make a buy gift card, and I'm the point of contact in the city for buying and selling gift cards for the greenhouse.
So you remember that lady we got in a box?
Yeah.
We're gonna take her on our ship now.
Okay.
An escaped slave engineer from the Cathedral of Stolen Gods. She spent 2 years shackled to its failing engine, helping build a hideous replacement. Engine work brings back the nightmares, but it's all she knows how to do.
Dun dun dun.
Also, some of you will recognize her, by the way.
So other than that, what did I miss?
Nothing really, just a discussion about Black Sabbath.
Fair. I think I thoroughly confused the old lady who was wanting to buy a gift card, and I don't know if she'll actually show up when to the time we scheduled, but
nice.
We will see.
The nice man on the phone said I needed to buy gift cards.
She was very confused when I said, "Will you need change?" And I was like, "Are you buying something with cash? You might need change."
That said, Supernaut is a good song. I just don't know what specific cover or remix you're talking about. She's a visitant, stolen from another world, but despite her predicament, she maintains a perpetual air of friendly calm. She's made some alteration to the engine, which bristles with more pipes and cables than usual. How did she end up at the Cathedral of Stolen Gods, Chris?
I don't know. It happens. I wouldn't worry about it.
That was your cue to read.
I know. Lucetta is sitting on the crate at which she smuggled herself and tinkering with her engine modifications. On hearing her question, she pauses and puts down the wrench. I'm a visitant, she says, stolen by the house. Went to bed a nice summer's evening and woke up in the freezing darkness. Then, parting the shadows in front of me, she spreads her hands and affects a look of wonder. Purple lights, stained glass, a roaring engine, one of the pirate priest's cathedral tanks. They asked me if I had any useful skills. When I told them I was an engineer, they grabbed me, threw a bag over my head, and took me back to the cathedral. Her smile is acid. If I'd have said anything else, they would have left me to die.
What was it like spending 2 years in the engines?
Boiling hot, suffocating fumes, hard work. Her expression remains one of wry amusement. Once I saw one of my fellow slaves get caught up in the drive belts and ripped in half. That was one reason I wanted to escape, of course, but in truth, there was another. She steps towards you, lowers her voice. The Cathedral of Stolen Gods has been sitting still for half a century. It's a wreck. But they've almost finished building a new engine that will get it moving again. I don't need to explain what that means for the rest of the house, do I? Return of the Thief Crusades.
What? That was me talking about, Black Sabbath and Supernaut? Yeah. I just don't know who Ministry is, What were the Thief Crusades?
She frowns. I only came to the house 2 years ago. Don't you know your own history, or is it only the pirate priests who still talk about this? For centuries, the cathedral roamed up and down the house, looting temples, burning the faithful, stealing gods for their own swollen pantheon. It was an engine of destruction powered by the divine favor of 100 co-opted deities. The pirate priests were dreaded in every corner of the house, from Shimmer to Scorn Avant. But the pirate priests overestimated their own power. They launched a siege on the city of Keys, hoping to steal one of the sanctioned gods. Lucetta allows herself a small smile. I don't know much about your governor, but I like what I've heard. Apparently he taught them a lesson in the meaning of hubris. They limped away, fleeing as far as they could from the governor's wrath before their engine finally broke down and stranded them in the middle of nowhere.
How do you expect to stop this from happening again, huh?
Lucetta gestures to the crate in which she was stowed away. Your so-called gift from the Omnipope. She pulls off the lid, and inside are 3 shroud-wrapped objects. The new engine they're building is called the Carnivore Heart, she says. It's guarded from thieves and saboteurs by the holy ward of 3 gods. These are the most important relics of those 3. 12 helped me smuggle them out from the warehouse Reliquary. If we return them to the rightful owners, the gods will go back to their original pantheon, and their wards will vanish from the cathedral. Then maybe we will have a shot at stealing the heart.
Yeah, let's do it.
Good to hear. Lucetta sits on her crate and begins fiddling with the engine again. Come back when you're ready to talk more about the relics.
I'm ready to talk more about the relics.
She lays them out one by one, carefully unwrapping the shrouds, a faint odor of grave dust. The first is a sheath of yellowed ancient paper covered in dense scribbles. The second is a rune-carved tusk. The third is a deck of pure black playing cards.
Tell us about the paper.
In Ghoulwatch, they don't worship living gods, says Lucetta. Their gods were devoured during the war. They commemorated their eaten deities with music, and the music itself became divine. The pantheon is now known as the Cannibal Symphonies. This note sheet is a lost concerto known as the 5th Ode to Bezelbeth. The pirate priest stole it by stealth rather than conquest. It vanished from Ghoulwatch so long ago that the melody is lost outside the cathedral.
How do you know so much about the gods of the house?
The pirate priests are bloodthirsty assholes, but they're also expert theologians, she says. My guards were bored out of their skulls. I spoke to them about gods all the time. I come from a world where gods are much less, concrete, and I found it all fascinating.
Has that place fallen London by chance? I take it nobody's figured out yet that she's in Sunless Seas. Tell us about the rune-covered tusk.
In the Entomarch, they worship the loving gods, she says. Any god who offers love without asking sacrifice in return. One such god was Elgin, Lord of Merriment. Almost 4 centuries ago, the cathedral swept through the Entomarch, burning and pillaging. They stole many loving gods from the Elgin pantheon. Elgin was one, his tusk looted from the church in Penitence Bluff.
And what about the deck of cards?
The black cards of Liberostius, Bonefish, Tailbinder. 200 years ago, the pirate priest raided the Kelp fortress, slaughtering thousands and burning half the priesthood. They broke into the vaults beneath the citadel and stole these black cards. Liberostus answered no more prayers from the Karchar. If we return these to the Kelp fortress, perhaps Liberostus will remember his children.
Yeah. The Carnivore Heart is no ordinary engine, says Lucetta. It was half built, half grown, and I swear it has a malign intelligence all its own. Once we take it from the priest pirates, we're gonna have to destroy it. She leaves your quarters and heads back down to the engines below. You glance down at the shroud-wrapped relics that she left on your table. You could help Lucetta steal the heart if you wanted. On the other hand, the Omnipope would no doubt reward you handsomely if I return these to them. How about no?
I'm sure nothing could go wrong if you did so. Nothing.
Bonk. I just realized I didn't run into the naughty doctors I was hoping for. Yeah, like that. Your radio cackles. Hand over subject 97 or 970, commands the voice. That's me, says Violante. She slipped into the pilot cabin with her.
This is yet another time we've had this happen.
Attempt to bargain with them. Refuse to hand her over.
Emerald green light.
Ooh, that's a lot of cannons. I don't like that.
Just walk it off. Ooh, miss.
Ugh.
Well, you got fuckered. Once your people die, they're permanently dead, right?
Ish. It depends. So, lower deck crew just die. Upper deck crew have a chance to just get wounded.
Hmm. Can you board and capture crew?
You can board, you can't capture them.
Hmm. This doctor is hard to kill.
Oh, that's because he's a stack of people, remember?
Oh, okay.
I'm a little oh, I am very insane. The naughty doctor, or the naughty orb shatters under your barrage, crashing to the floor in an explosion of broken glass and spiraling green light. It's actually spectacularly pretty if you don't think about the mangled bodies inside. A naughty doctor crawls from the wreckage, the only survivor. He wears a black trench coat, black gloves, black boots, everything black except for his head, hidden inside a ponderous green goldfish bowl. We should capture him alive, whispers Violante. I have more questions for the naughty doctors than I can count. Yeah. Let's take him, Violante looks on with grim satisfaction as you tie up the naughty doctor and haul him into the cargo. You can now question him at your leisure.
At your leisure.
Ah, nightmare child, Let's go to the City of Keys and take a little bit of a rest. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Sadly, as a heads up, I am probably going to have to stop at around in about what would that be? In like an hour 15.
All right.
Because I got to make that delivery now. Pay the bandit tax.
No.
No bandit tax for me. So, if you enter a city and your heart light's off, when you leave, is it automatically on again?
Good question. I don't know.
Because, like, sometimes you spend, like, 2 weeks in the city. That should be enough time to turn it back on. Or is, like, there an option to turn on or off your heart light in the city itself?
No.
Okay. And I fumbled my phone.
There are 2 embalmed corpses, each safely ensconced in an open sarcophagus. Excellent fuel for the children's nightmares when this place is open.
I think that's the least of our worries is nightmares.
Yeah.
I think we have more worries about, night actions rather than nightmares at this point.
Jesus, I need a freaking checklist,
That's not how you're. Well, to be fair, I do play RimWorld, so I can't. I can't comment.
Pretty sure I have two of everything. Let's invite Lucetta. Despite her years enslaved in the Citadel, a new light comes to Lucetta's eyes when you discuss mechanical matters. She talks about engines like a poet. Having got her started, it's only with great difficulty that she's goaded to talk about anything else, but you manage to change the topic to her old world. The worst thing to get used to in the house wasn't the darkness or the lack of food or lack of sky. We were so connected to each other back home. I had friends all over the world. The house seems a lonely, silent place in comparison. The fog swallows her as she leaves. Oh, a new subplot, of course. Brilliant.
I mean, that's all you need to do. A story can be nothing but subplots. That just makes it a bunch of.
That just makes it Pulp Fiction.
Well, I was going to say Matryoshka Vinaigrettes, but yes.
Yeah, let's sell her the heart back. Why not? I don't remember what I said to Altos. Or Altotas that made him say that, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to assume it was the Heartlight in and out of cities.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's my guess.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there's not too many cases, I think, where you'd want to leave a city with your Heartlight off.
His mod wants to add incentives for moving with your Heartlight off. Because otherwise there's no reason to at the moment.
Like a reduction of fuel or something?
Yeah. No, it already you already save a little bit of fuel from that, but yeah. Willowpan, that's the guy I don't want to piss off, so I need an extra way to unpiss him off. The chapel to Willowpan on Step Temple Street is bathed in a glow of a dozen heartlights. It's filled with singing and merrymaking, but none of the partying worshippers seem to be the person you seek. You eventually find the Hyro monk in the chapel's gardens. He's younger than you anticipated, scarcely a day over 20, and bears an unexpectedly sullen expression. He greets you warmly enough and waves a dismissive hand at the chapel, spilling light and song and laughter into the garden. The sun of stars is light of all kinds, he tells you, not just the warm yellow. You are to be the harsh white, and to blaze in the eyes of the heathens.
The eyes of the heathens, yes.
I can now preach the words of Willowpan. Yeah.
I can always deal with more heathens.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
North.
North. Hey, Whacker. It's not detecting heresy. It's embracing it. That's the trick. Otto von Honkbach. An impossibly huge man, 8 feet tall, at least, and rippling with muscle. The effect is undone somewhat by his tiny pince-nez glasses.
Otto offers to make a sizzling banquet for the whole crew.
Mountains of creamy mashed turnip, platter after platter of olives and crusty bread and thinly sliced ham. Fish fillet dusted in salt and pepper with a lemon vinaigrette. A frankly reckless application of spice. I envy people in other worlds who have to eat every day, says Otto. Over here, I'm lucky to get people to sit down for a meal once a week. After a meal packed with booming laughter and gentle jokes, he stands and takes your plates. Seconds.
Yes, please.
He slides the second plate in front of you. He's already on his third portion. I've a favor to ask, he says, staring at you with oddly piercing eyes. The effect is diminished by his huge, spluttering mouthful of trout. I am something of an amateur natural philosopher, you see, and I'm keen to catch some live animals to study.
Which animals?
Very glad you asked, booms Otto, pulling a tattered piece of paper from his pocket and adjusting his spectacles. A toxin shark from the city of Keys, an optivore hawk from the buzzard's omen, a pyrophile ape from Gandola, a ichthyiid hound from Recalentrance, and a penguin from the Oddwater Intrusion.
Why those animals in particular?
Each of these animals has a secret, says Otto. Take the toxin shark. No one knows how it survives in the poison water of the Scenic. The optivore hawk will grant visions to those whose eyes it devours. It devours why? How? What evolutionary advantage could that serve? Every natural philosopher has a theory, but none are sure. How intelligent is the pyrophile ape? How does the ichthyiid hound's lungs work? And what in the god's name is a penguin? He smiles. I've always been fascinated by these questions. I intend to find the answers.
Sounds fine to me.
Samurai, at least they're not crusty steamed hams.
Otto smiles and gives you a bone-powderizing hug. Thank you, Canute. This will be my life's work. He pulls
Honestly,
over a fourth plate of trout.
I'm kind of interested in the ichthyiid hounds.
Well, we will find out, won't we?
Yeah. Okay, Mo. It's all about the protein. He's just looking for better sources of protein.
I need hazard coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Ill-mannered brutes. I only have 20 bucks, though. Sad.
20 more bucks than you'll have at the end of this day, ha ha ha. You didn't want to fight the roving Stonehenge?
No.
Hmm.
Oh well, let's steal some rocks, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure your goat crew member isn't going to notice at all, but now you have 2 of these obelisks.
It's fine. Help Cronlack reconnect with the goatmen.
I read that second one as with utmost casualties. How shall we approach this? Asked Cromlech, tapping his cane thoughtfully. Other than with utmost politeness, of course.
We'll offer them a gift.
Once you go into the Goatman village, hands raised and empty, I am one of you, says Cromlech, raising his voice. I was born in this village more than 30 years ago. Now I return, looking to understand my roots. After a long silence, a shaman emerges from the darkness. Taller and cragglier than even Crowclick, feathers sewn into his fur, face painted with dried blood and charcoal. So, no, you are not one of us. His voice is a slow drawl. The darkness here is a living thing, jealously guarding the goatman from your sight. You don't even see the bows and spear points until it is too late. An arrow thuds into your shoulder. 3 shafts sprout from Cromlech's chest. The goatmen pour from the shadows, eerily silent even as their rage embraces you both. The last thing you see as you pass out is them flinging nets over Cromlech, jabbing him with spears and pulling him bloody into the darkness.
I wake up tied to a stone.
You are tied next to Cromlech, on a standing stone. The craggy shaman looking on with deep-set eyes. Goatmen crowd around, their breath hot and foul, cutting away Crumlick's clothes with daggers of stone. The shaman snaps his fingers, creating a flame from thin air and lights a stick of incense. He wafts it under his Cromlick's nose and begins chanting, a guttural rumble from deep within his throat. The goatmen tend to him for a few hours. They waft incense under his nose, chant with him, slather him in stinging mud, cut intricate patterns into his flesh. He drools and whimpers and occasionally mumbles snippets of madness. Finally, they cut the rope from his hands and feet and place a stone knife in his hands. Kill your human friend, they tell him. He staggers forward towards you, eyes rolled back into the skull, but he raises the knife over you. He hesitates and brings the knife down in 4 quick swipes, cutting your ropes. Let's go, he slurs, speaking like a drunkard.
Right.
You grab Cromlick and flee into the darkness. Air was shattering on the stones around you. Somehow, you both make it back to the Kinetipede alive. He staggers back to his room, leaving a trail of blood through the Kinetipede. He slams the door, refusing all medical treatment.
Your crew cheer when you leave the goat stones behind.
That went well.
Shut up. Yeah, I gotta go to Buzzard Omen for 2 quests.
I'm not sure if I like this map once it would be fully explored, because it's just too busy. Know what I mean?
What, too many blocks?
Yeah, like it doesn't... It's not clear where the cities are anymore if every square is visible.
Well, I mean, it kinda is. They're the lit up ones.
Yeah, but it's not as nice as if it would just be like a contiguous outline of explored territory. Or just at least make the grids fainter. Like, I get that's why they did it like that, but I think making grids would look nicer, at least to me. That way, on the map, you could also see if you've found any locked doors.
Old bones, yeehaw. Let's go to the mice in a free state.
Let's see the Mushroom Rebellion.
Yep. Mushroom Rebellion is over.
Let's see if we can buy mushroom. Let's see if we can buy mushroom brain stems then.
Oh, it was a mushroom. That was a mushroom recruiter. I just realized.
Nice.
The featureless monolith in your engine room has been stirring. The ice on its sides has shivered and cracked. Snakes of frost begin to wind through the Kinetipede, burrowing under doors and covering all the walls in walls like ivy or glittering veins. Your breath comes in gasps of smoke. The engineers have always professed discomfort in the engine's presence, but now they tell you it's been demanding tribute, worship. So worship it. Your engineers light candles and mutter half-embarrassed, half-fearful prayers. The cold abates. From that point on, Ben Barker seems troubled. He continues to worship at the cold altar of the engine, and does so with increasing fervor. At one point, you're forced to confiscate a scale model of the engine from his quarters, apparently built at the center of some sort of shrine. He's even scrawled a dense, holy book come instruction manual,
Well, we haven't sacrificed anyone on the monolith yet, so have we actually reached cult status?
Not yet.
Mr. Hungry. I always love that video of the snake with the Mechanicus chanting in the background. With the mechanical snake.
Stay in one of the regrown fungus cottages. The mushrooms welcome us with open arms. You tuck your head down on a bed of damp rot and fall asleep. You feel a little better. The mushrooms tell you about the Empire's attempts to reconquer the Free State. Incompetent, mishandled, easily rebuffed. Is Chimmer growing weak? Well, yes, but also...
Still, let's try and see if you can buy some mushroom brain stems.
You can't.
What happens if we need some? State-approved goods.
You tell the story of how Willowpan granted mortals the secret of the Heartlight, asking for nothing in return but adoration. The mushrooms are too busy to listen to your preaching. They're working in stony soil, toiling in the fields, rebuilding. Somewhere else will accept my god. Keep looking.
Oh wait, so the mushrooms here lost?
No. The mushrooms here
Then why
won.
are they? Then why are they still working for the clowns?
They're not.
Well, the shop is.
That's just hasn't been changed.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a glitch, or an oversight.
Yeah.
Panachak. Always go to Panachak.
Mm-hmm. North, south, east, or west. Always go north. That's the goal. Always go north.
I still don't get that joke.
That's just because that's my habit when I go cycling. If I never know which direction to go, especially if I'm out on the highways, I just go north. It only fails me like about 75% of the time.
I sold them a dubious trinket.
Dun dun dun.
You could also use that as an opportunity to add new shops to it, Alto Tess. Just rudimentary industry for the mushroom people. What will I make the corpse's sign say? Dead, pleased to see you. Excellent corpse work, all, booms Mayor Feverbeard from his rusted podium. You're all winners, of course, and you'll all receive certificates, but I will reward an extra special prize to the best of the best. In the end, your corpse wins the Outrageousness Prize, which turns out to be a differently colored certificate. But a foreigner winning a prize in corpse decoration is apparently a wondrous unlikelihood, and the Panachak villagers promise that they'll be talking about it for months. For years, travelers will be met with a grinning corpse face and dead, pleased to see you.
Dun dun dun.
You remind the crowd of the dangers that hide in the darkness and tell them how they can benefit from Willowpan's protection. As you speak, the small audience drift away in dribs and drabs. You're left with one lone watcher who shrieks and runs away as soon as you approach him. Oh well.
Time to go.
Someone will take my god.
That's why you should have a dead corpse in your hold, a dead god corpse in your hold, and say, "Hey, will you take my god onto you?" And just like actually give them the god corpse.
Yeah.
It's like, I take my god wherever I need to go.
How's Cromlech doing? He's been acting strangely of late.
He hasn't left his room for days, and the rest of the crew are starting to complain about the smell. When you find him crouched on the bed, chewing furiously at the sheets, the walls are covered in dung and blood-daubed ruined. Meticulous collections of books have been torn to pieces. "Help me," he gasps, spitting out the remnants of his blanket. Something's happening to me. I need a doctor."
Oh no, my Cromlech's in trouble!
Jabink Show puts Kromlech on his table and examines him carefully. "What are your symptoms?" he asks. "I wake up in my sleep, finding that I've cut myself and drawn runes and pentacles in my blood," says Cromlech. "The heartlight burns my eyes. I am afflicted by a kind of trance sometimes, and when I awaken, I have destroyed my possessions." A tear wells in his eyes. "And my books. And I have terrible dreams." "This isn't a medical complaint," young Bosho says firmly. "This is occult business outside my area of expertise."
Tell me about your dreams.
9 dead worlds ringed around a blood sun, says Cromlech dully. Teeth in the sky.
Ooh. Perhaps this is related to your experience at the Goat Stones?
Back when I was growing up in the village, there was rituals to initiate me into adulthood, but I never completed it. I couldn't stand the blood and the visions. I ran away fast as I could. That's when the nomads took me in. He snaps his fingers. "Perhaps I just need to complete that ritual. It was left unfinished after all."
What do you need for the ritual?
He grabs your surgeon's notepad and jots down a list of what he needs. He tears it off, hands it to you, never meeting your eyes. "We need to do this," he says hoarsely. "I just want to go back to not remembering these dreams."
Well, that's a lot of stuff. Thankfully, we have the extra monolith, though.
Yeah. Let's do it right now. No. Wait, what don't we have?
I don't have bottled darkness. I have no living zoological specimens and no gallows candle.
Oh, you stashed the specimens. That's right.
Oh
Dasher
yeah.
sold them.
Yeah, I sold them.
And I don't know if you have the candles either.
I don't have the candles. I turned them all into hands of glory.
That's right.
I've come to bottle you again.
I love the etymology of that song.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The creator of the TV show asked his 13-year-old son to write the most edgy song that he could think of.
Hello,
And it became a cult classic.
hello, darkness, my old friend. Stupid fool knights, you go squish now. God damn it.
What? You don't have a good enough gunner?
I don't have a gunner.
Just shoot blindly.
No, I literally didn't have anybody to shoot the cannon.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
That was a little sad.
What you just need is an SRM carrier on your Kinetipede, and then you wouldn't have to worry about these things ever again. When a hail of SRM missiles just shoot out at them unexpectedly when they walk around a corner.
Ooh, I found an oscillating prism and some money.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
So how long have we got? About 50 minutes, give or take?
A little less, but yeah.
So should we take a 5-minute break now so that it splits it up a little more evenly? Instead of waiting for the hour?
That works for me, and that gives me a chance to find my orange toque.
Alright, we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks.
See you guys in a bit. Bye-bye. Morning, dogs. DJ Johnny, you're probably not wrong.
Hello. Oh, I added it because there's romance and such. Well, actually, the last person on added it, but I just didn't remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
That's a good way to describe the podcast, Johnny. I know I like listening to it, but it is very much a it is very much a thing.
Ooh, at the center of Harlequin is a perpetual pageant of honking and revelry. Further from the Pasquinade Palace, though, the streets are darker and quieter, and the tents are black with filth. Chanting, stomping, gunshots. A ragged mob are marching through the slums, singing protest songs and setting fire to tents, and we're gonna join them, huh? You march with the mob. They have a list of demands that they intend to force upon the painted queen. No more tattooing infants with whiteface. No new Harlequin empire to replace the old chimeric one. No more grotesquerie. They just want her to take Harlequin seriously. A quarter mile down the street, you're met with a wall of grinning guards. Slapsticks thud against screaming flesh. You don't get out unscathed. Oh well.
Oh well.
Ow, my bones!
Don't get bonitis. You can't cure bonitis.
Let's see, what does he need? So the specimens are going to be the tough one.
Specimens. Well, we end up when we get specimens, we tend to get a lot of them.
Altos, where do we tend to get biological specimens? I want to say the waste disposal is a good place. Flee.
My pretties, flee.
Oh, I don't have an enchanted gimmick.
Hey, Altos, you know something funny? You could totally add Steamboat Willie into this game now, as this kind of horrific monstrosity that was summoned from another world. It's free.
Expensive jobs, mutters the gunsmith. I'll need 500 guineas to cover my costs. You hand over the money and the gunsmith glares. Thanks, he says, squirreling it away somewhere. Let me see the bullet now. He caresses it between gnarled fingers. This is a Principate make, for sure. 40 years since it was fired? The gunsmith pulls a rifle from the wall. What do you say, girl? Can you sniff him out? He holds the bullet up to the rifle's barrel. After a few seconds, the gun wags from side to side and then swings violently to the south. The killer's still alive. Take me to the scars of Shang. I did that in a bad order. Hang on.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just like the marching song. Left, right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right.
Vagabond Alley is a narrow, grime-spattered passage aglow in an ocean of neon. To one side of the gunsmith's a fizzling sign advertises XXX Picks. On the other, flaming filaments tout bargain fates. The gunsmith itself is a crooked little place, dark and unadorned. Knock, knock, knock. An old man opens the door, aged in the same way a tree or a strip of leather ages. His face is all popping eyes and bristling iron beard. Oh, customers, is it? He retreats back in the darkness, muttering, and lights a gas lamp. Gleams chase each other across countless racks of weaponry. Ashen takes a rifle from the wall, admires it cautiously. What do you want? Asks the gunsmith. I want to turn 2 coins into a bullet. The gunsmith takes the coin from you and examines it. A golden bullet, is it? It'll be heavy. The aerodynamics will be difficult. He flips one of them in the air and catches it between gnarled fingers. But a bit of metalsmithing isn't why you came here. Who's the bullet meant for? His name is G, says Ashen. G, is it? The gunsmith shakes his head. Not a true name. Sounds more like an affectation. No good for my purpose. What do you need his real name? I work with ballistics and probabilistics. That's a pun, isn't it? I teach a bullet where it wants to go. All it needs is the true name to direct it. It wants to kill somebody, you see. That's its purpose, but it doesn't know who. So 7,000 times I carve the name on the bullet, and writing so small your eye won't see it. And while I'm carving, I sing the name 1,000 times, and whisper it 1,000 times, and wrap the bullet in gin-soaked paper to which I've written the name 1,000 times more. After that, the bullet knows its nemesis. As long as a strike is possible, your bullet will find its enemy's heart. But you need the real name. Aye. I know G's real name, says Ashen, placing the rifle back on the wall. She leans into the gunsmith's ear and whispers. The gunsmith nods. I can teach your golden bullet this name, but of course my services do not come freely. 1 bullet will cost you 500 guineas. Ah, fuck it, in for a penny, in for 500 pounds. The gunsmith takes your money without thanks. Come back in a week and the bullet will be ready. Wait in town. A week in Buzzard Omen gives you plenty of time to familiarize yourself with the place. Every night rings out with shouting, gunshots, drunken laughter. Every morning more wine-soaked bodies are pulled from the gutters. When you return to the gunsmith, he's pale, and his hair is a touch whiter than you remember. I don't know what those coins were, he says darkly, handing you your shining bullet, but I don't ever want to see them in my shop again. I sang to the metal, and the metal sang back. G awaits us in the city of bridges, she says softly. We should bring a gun, a mirror, and knives.
This is when we find out that Ashen told him the G's name was Noot.
Oh, totally.
Betrayal most foul.
Find a fortune teller for bid. This guy wants fucking money, holy.
Yeah.
You tell the story of how Willowpan granted mortals the Heartlight. Your audience's faces are lost in a smoke of cheap cigarettes. There's laughter, a few jokes at your expense. Nothing too mean-spirited, but they do not take you seriously.
Thanks for the follow, DJ Johnny Fee. I hope you enjoy our community.
I'm hoping we'll have time to rig an election before you go, but we'll see.
Yeah, I won't be able to say for certain.
Yeah.
Like, I think we should be able to do it, but yeah. Rigging an election. Fun for the whole family.
Yep.
Remember, Molotovs come in all sizes, from extra large to child friendly. Wait, that just for legal purposes, that was a joke. Dodge! Dodge!
Monk. I don't know why I did that.
You're just trying to, you know...
Meet new people, have fun.
What's that called? You're trying to, trip him up. He's trying to go for you. You don't know which way you're going. He can't follow you.
No. Oh, okay. I have no fuel to spare. Let's fight back. Okay, so my gunner spawned this time.
No fuel to spare at all.
Nope. Not a drop, huh?
I like the long gun just because its name sounds like Long Tom. I know it isn't, but... You know what would be a cool addition to this game?
What's that?
If sometimes the sprites were, you could see that they weren't human in combat.
Yeah.
Like if one of them was like a Dryder, or if you could identify that they're mushroom people, or what would be another non-humanoid body type?
I don't know, but that's a lot of modding, yeah.
Maybe?
Ooh, I can threaten him with hazard coffee now. Yeah, that is possible.
Yeah. Depends on how Cheat Engine does it. If it's just doing it via increasing the tick speed and part of the other game engine doesn't respect that, yeah. And that would make sense if it's doing it intermittently, yeah.
Oh, as you pick through the endless mound of discarded things, one of the trash mountains shifts. Cans and bottles scatter. Your crew tense in fear, expecting a monster. Instead, though, a small filthy dog slides towards you on a minor trash avalanche. It stinks of rotten bananas and spoiled meat, and it's so filthy its gray fur has gone black. It slobbers lovingly at your knee and stares back in hopeful adoration. Yes, I'm taking the dog. I don't want people to, like, lynch me. What are you, crazy? Never be mean to a dog on stream. Not even a fake one, huh?
Have yourself a great afternoon there, DJ Johnny. I'm surprised there wasn't a small line there saying that the dog's legs were digigrade. Because that feels like that's this kind of game.
How many fetch meters do I have?
You should still have like 12.
I doubt it.
Did you use them all up in your grinding?
No. Should have at least
Because
one.
we had like a ton.
I did indeed use them all up.
Huh. I thought we got like a whole bundle of them.
Oh well.
Did they weigh too much and we have to stash them, maybe?
We might have stashed a couple. Oh well. Oh, it's my birthday!
Yay!
Angel wine. Cromlech bows and solemnly offers me a gift. He knows my love of poetry and has acquired a slim book containing some of his personal favorites. Thank you. Okay, so you see the problem, huh?
He just wants you to have a lot of wine, okay?
No,
like
he's giving me poetry books.
Ah.
Violante
Are these
gives me a
poetry
sudden...
books all torn and shredded to pieces?
Oh yeah, and covered in dung.
Yeah.
Violante gives a sudden nervous hug. Her gift is beautifully wrapped. Her gift is a box of flares. That is actually an extremely thoughtful gift, huh? You sure he doesn't mean it that way, but crap, Otto's hug is practically an act of war. He rubs your aching ribs and gives you gifts.
Mm. Oh,
Gondola and Trout, I literally need that.
There should be an addition to that. You are now maimed.
Harmony seems utterly unimpressed by the pomp and ceremony, but she does have a gift.
Yeah, you totally should be allowed to be maimed after you receive his gift.
The book is an incendiary anti-governor booklet called The Truth. Ashen watches the proceedings silently. Her gift is a bottle of wine from the Old Hallow. She must have been saving it. Yangbo Shaw sits miserably in the presence of so many others, seems to make it nervous. It hands you a gift, mutters its congratulations, and leaves. It's a packet of medicinal herbs, each labeled with the ailments it heals. Lucetta approaches with a smile. Lucetta's gift is a selection of redolent aromas. She hastily clarifies that this isn't intended as a hint.
Wait, if you don't accept someone's gift, do they get offended? Because that would be entertaining.
I don't know.
It's like, it's your birthday party, and you only accept one person's gift and just leave everyone.
They gave me so much booze, you guys.
Well, it's dark out. That means it's afternoon. It means it's good. You're allowed to drink.
I know exactly where I'm going to use all of those flares. Do I not have a golem somewhere I can ditch? Did I already go past it?
I'm pretty sure you've ditched all the golems you could
Oh my god! Oh, no.
Never mind. Okay, you could still ditch another golem.
It didn't help much.
A curio? No, that won't be way enough. I guess both the curios are gone.
Yeah.
That right there is why one of my favorite mods for RimWorld is one that lets you still move slowly, even when you're over capacity. It just, the more you're over capacity, the slower you move. Upside, if you're under capacity, you move faster. It makes it even feel worse if you're overloaded.
No!
No? But they wanted to say yes.
Oh, all free fuel, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Free fuel, I guess.
What I could use is some bottled darkness.
Where did we last pick that up?
You got it from Wells,
Yeah, oh yeah, you buy it there.
No, Wells, You draw it up in buckets,
Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking the oil mining place.
Yeah. Let's return this deck of cards to the Karchar. The Karchar temples are riots of color. A dozen fishy gods are painted across the busy ceiling, each more slimy and tentacled than the last. The High Priest spent most of its life submerged in a pool of still black seawater, meditating, but news of the gift precedes you. As you enter the church, he emerges from his brine-soaked contemplation and waddles down the stone steps to greet you, introducing himself as Gently Wanders Dreaming. Is it true? Rumbles gently, his dorsal fin studded with gold rings and tattooed with holy symbols. Do you bring the cards of Librostius back to us? I do. I never thought I'd see the day. Rumbles gently, holding up the cards. Yes, this is them. He stuffs them away in his sodden robes. Follow me. The priest grabs a burning torch from the wall, and you follow him down winding stone steps, down into the caverns below the temple. It's cluttered with half-eroded idols. You recognize the monstrous visages of the gods that were painted in the ceiling above. Finally, deep below the temple, you stop at a stone altar surrounded by green puddles. Gently sits opposite and spreads the cards on its surface, counting them one by one. This was once Librostius' altar, Tell me about Librostius,
The bonefish god was one of the most feared deities in our pantheon, says gently. He would play games with his followers and grant great rewards to the winners, but the losers would have their souls ripped from their bodies. They were added to his spirit library, a vast collection of the disembodied he kept beneath his cloak, each forced to memorize a story and recite it at his will.
Oh. Tell me about the Thief Crusades.
Terrible times. Gently shakes his head. The pirate priests raided the fortress again and again. Sometimes we fended them off, but they had the power of so many gods behind them already. We lost many from our pantheon. He shuffles the cards and lays them out a second time, a third, a fourth. Something about the movement of his hands is hypnotic. When you finally drag your eyes away, you are startled to see that it is no longer gently wanderers dreaming who sits opposite to you. Grinning back at you is the enormous armor-plated skull of a fish. It has tiny empty eyes, a mouth full of huge blunt teeth, and floats atop billowing black robes. Greetings, Canute, says Libroastius, the bonefish gods, flips over a black card. A game, I think, must be played.
Why have you come here?
I have been a member of the pirate priests' swollen pantheon for many years, says Libroastius. Each syllable lands with an echo, as like it has fallen to an impossibly deep seabed. Now you seek to return me to the Karchar. But what if I don't desire to return? The god passes you a card. I was happy with the pirate priests. They suited me. They reminded me of the all-conquering empire that I left behind them, than the weak, squabbling Karchar in the house. These soft-skinned infants have forgotten they are sharks.
Where is Gently Wanders dreaming?
He is gone, says Libroastius.
Oh. What are the stakes?
Your life, says Libroastius. If you win, I will return to the Karchar Pantheon and leave the pirate priests behind. If I win, I will enslave your soul, fill your mind with ancient words, and add you to my collection.
Oh no, if only I were good at gambling.
The game begins. Liberastius, the bonefish, lays one card on the table and looks at you expectantly. You lay down a card at random. Like all the cards in the deck, it is blank and black. No suit, no image, identical to the rest. Ha! Liberastius sweeps away both cards and adds them to his hand.
Can you explain the rules?
No, says Liberastius, dealing another card.
Well, I've never played a game of cards I couldn't win.
It's difficult to see the tells in a giant, blunt fish skull, but if you concentrate, you can detect ragged whispers at the end of your hearing, curious sibilant murmurs in a foreign tongue, hissing, pleading, begging for mercy. When Liberastius places a card he seems happy with, the whispers get louder, perhaps hoping to capitalize on his momentary good mood. After a long, grueling game, you play a last desperate hand in a moment when the whispers are almost silent, as though fearing Liberastius' wrath. It is enough to echo to victory. He sweeps up the cards, making a noise that sounds like laughter echoing from a well. A memento of your victory, he says, handing you one of the black cards. Well played. And then he is gone, and gently wanders dreaming, is sitting where Liberastius was been only a moment before.
How odd, says Gently. The cards have vanished.
When you explain what happened, gently wandering, dreaming, goes pale. I dread to think what could have happened, he mutters. The old ones were wise to fear Liberastius. Back on the surface, he hands you a flask of stewed oysters to pick you up and promises to spread the word far and wide that you returned a lost god to the Karchar Pantheon.
That night, I dream of a grinning fish skull.
It's fine. Oh, we can capture a hound here, too.
Yep.
Well, if we have to wait for it.
You tell the story of, the Heartlight. By process of elimination, the fortress contains only the most orthodox Karchar. They still worship their tentacled sea gods, the aberrant lords of their old world, and react to you preaching with roars of disapproval and the occasional hurled stone, Oops.
It happens.
Let's collect an Ichthid hound.
Mm-hmm. Offer to buy one or both of them before the fight begins. Otto takes you to a hound fighting pit in one of the grimer parts of the fortress. Hulking shark men squat around the ring, roaring and stamping as two fish-headed dogs circle each other, snapping with sharp tiny teeth. The Karchar are clamoring to place bets.
Stop!
You leap into the crunching white salt and shout up at the Karchar onlookers. Appealing to their kindness won't work. You appeal to their egos. You had thought the Karchar were fierce. Are they so frightened to bleed that they force animals to fight in their stead? Are they too afraid to settle their differences with tooth and fist? The ensuing brawls threatens to spill out from the pit and onto the street outside. Otto grabs the hounds in his brawny arms, and you somehow make it way back to the Knetapede intact.
Yay!
How many did you gain? Oh, you gained both. The hounds pace back and forth in their cages, occasionally unhinging their jaws and emitting a kind of a gurgling yip yip snarl. They have rangy-mangy bodies of half-starved dogs and the heads of an oversized pinata. Crazed orange eyes stare at you. Tiny teeth click together eagerly. Resident only to the Kelp Fortress, as far as I know. No one's ever done a study of them.
I only have one, but it gave me a
Mhm.
bonus. A judgment is dude's being executed. Haha, he exploded.
Bang!
That's actually really cheap to repair my hull.
Nice.
Why did I do that? I don't need salt.
Just drive it off, man. Just drive it off.
I should threaten to make that guy sleepless. Oh, I need 3 hazard coffee.
That's gonna take a little while.
Ooh. Flee. Get nay-nayed. Stupid.
Donk donk.
Well, that sucks. Oh well. Bonk. Ah! So I think Alto said Gross Fathom is a good place to check for the thingy I need.
Let me just scroll up here a little bit. A little further up. A little further up.
Faster!
I must have skipped it. Let's go a second time. Yeah, Gross Fathom. Or the Entomark.
I'm gonna have to put some crap in my stash.
Mm-hmm. Maybe pull some stuff out.
I had lumber this whole goddamn time.
Oh, we got a water break and a stretch redeemed. Noot,
Yay.
let's get our stretch on. And a bit of a water chug. Thanks for the redeems there, Dragon Tear.
Do not redeem, do not redeem. What are you doing? Do not redeem.
We're exploring things better left unexplored because
yeah,
it's
you know
entertaining.
it.
That's what we're doing, Dragon.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna learn how to paint. Otto von Humbach. He makes my hallway look tiny. You reach to shake his hand and find yourself pulled into a hug. I brought ingredients. We shall have a feast tonight. I insist on cooking. No, don't protest. Not a word. I would be distraught if I didn't get to investigate your kitchen. The banquet is magnificent. Steamed lamb chops with mustard, 3 delicate slices of blood orange, and a leafy explosion of vegetables, a glistening cluster of ink black grapes. To top it off, he somehow leaves your kitchen cleaner than when he started. I mean, him.
Blood oranges are great.
He's getting to leave. He's coming with us when we leave, huh? Like, leave the, house, huh?
Also, I'm gonna ask you to explain what you meant by that, by bananas or anvils, Dragon.
What?
He says he was watching too many VTubers or something, looking for bananas or anvils.
Oh, do I even want to know?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, let's add unsanctioned scripture.
Hey, that's not a bad thing to add.
An open volume of unsanctioned scripture sits in a glass case behind a warning that sensitive eyes should find something less disturbing to examine, like all the corpses.
Oh, to drop on people. That makes sense. Thank you there for the explanation, Dragon. We're not quite technologically that interactive yet, sadly. I think the fanciest thing we had was a heart monitor for a while.
Oh, fuck. Who was that, Mav?
Yeah, that was for Mav. Yeah, because we make Mav play scary games.
He does not
play scary games.
And then we make him do eye breaks.
Yeah, in the middle of said scary games. Usually at right before the boss encounter.
Anything worth buying? Nope. Nahashites. Because they're harder to get approval for.
Normandy, you are not wrong. During the boss encounters is another excellent time to do so.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've finally hit the point, Newt, where we've been streaming long enough that I can start adding more weight to my dumbbells.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm helping.
It's one thing I do while I stream with Newt is that, well, I have a dumbbell in my room and it helps keep me active. So I'm noticing it's getting light, so I need to add another weight to it.
You remind the crowd of the dangers that hide in the darkness. The serfs watch you speak with dead-eyed incomprehension. When you're finished, they silently return to their hovels.
As is intended. As is honor and tradition. No, you don't want them to continue with the honor and tradition of folding.
That's what I needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perform Cromlech's ritual. Requires bottled darkness, zoological specimens, blah 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 blah.
Honestly, the biggest reason to perform the ritual is to get the weight off the boat.
Cromlech lights the candles, ties the squealing animal to the monolith, fills his room with gnawing darkness. You hand him your knife and he accepts in silence. He cuts himself, draws the symbols on the floor and walls in blood. Then he just disembowels the animal, holds its viscera above his head, and chants his praises to the pale, the light within darkness, the stone cradle. Join him! Can a human join a goat man ritual? Will you see his visions, taste his dreams? You and Cromlech cavort in blood together, singing, chanting, cutting yourselves, typical boyfriend and boyfriend activities. You collapse in tandem, and the visions fill your mind with thudding migraine whirl. 9 dead worlds, each as black and sterile as coal, orbit a black, blood-red sun, a beach at night, sand cool beneath your bare feet, and above you are teeth in the dark sky. They are pale and huge as mountains. They are descending. The sea boils. You are out in an infinite void again, and a giantess the size of a galaxy bites into the world. Its lights die as she devours it. Clouds stripped away, seas turning to steam, billions die. A seething loathing fills your bones like hot cement, and then you awake. You wake together in the middle of a sickening mess. Whatever strange impulse overtook you, it's gone now, but Cromlech still seems deep in its embrace. He jumps on top of you, hands clasping your throat. Criminals, he spits, drooled hanging from his chin. Sinners, your crime is remembered at last. Fingers tighten, Cromlech's eyes are glazed and merciless. Can you not? Oh dear. Shove him off you. What?
Murderer, monster, I saw your crime. The shame of your race. Negative 2000 relationship.
No. My Cromlech. As you approach him, his fist lasts out, rattling your jaw. It's not a very hard punch, but not for lack of trying. He swipes at you again if you try to get closer. You spot Cromlech's diary sitting on the edge of the table, the only document he hasn't yet shredded. Some impulse makes you take it. You want to read his diary?
The diary is written in a sweeping purple prose, much to your liking. The last pages try to reconcile Cromlech's Goatman heritage with his love for humanity. The very last page is a dense, scrawled rant. But in earlier passages, that love of humanity is in full evidence. He writes about his favorite cities in a tone that borders on worshipful. He rhapsodizes about the bright pageantry of Founder's Fire, the gloomy grandeur of Ghoul Watch, the coffee houses and theaters in the City of Masks. He writes about the poet knights with untempered admiration, praising their bravery and their artistry. And then there are the passages he's written about you and the wonderful times you've spent together. He's scrawled hearts and flowers in the margins like some schoolgirl. He writes in a tone of breathless wonder, as though he can't quite believe that you're real, that he can touch you and kiss you.
It's a mystifying contrast to the growling animal that now paces back and forth in his room.
He's become a screaming feral recluse.
Zhang Boshua, can you please talk to my boyfriend,
Cromlech spits and fights when a human enters his room shouting about ancient crimes, but seems to accept Yang Bo-shou's presence calmly. They are squirreled away for hours. When it leaves, Yang Bo-shou seems oddly cheerful. I told him that the human oppressors are awful in general, but you're not bad personally. He told me about your species' misdeeds. It says, I think we both learned a lot.
The next time you see Cromlech, he's picked up his old skull cane and put his rumpled suit back on. It's something. Well, that's sad.
I like how the monolith also crumbled during that ritual. The monolith is gone.
This is it. The swarming dark epicenter of the Swampitude has filled this part of the house. Your centipedes. That's definitely a glitch, huh?
Yeah. Dragon Tear. Self-scrambled.
I tried to go inside my kinetipede and it made that dude freak the fuck out. What do I need to do to make, Cromlech happy again?
Maybe if you had another monolith. Maybe if you give him another monolith. Just put a monolith in his room. I'm sure he'd like that, right?
The Rebellion of Stones. Oh, I gotta take him to revisit his favorite places, so there we go. We can go rig an election.
Oh, yes.
Aren't you excited?
And after that, I will have to go.
Cool.
The rigging the election will be the last thing I'm able to do today. Dragon Tear. Self-scrambled, kind of? Self-scrambled is what I would call it.
So, he wanted me to do this because he wants to test how things work after a certain state. So there's an election. The fortress citadel bristling with blah blah blah. You got a press conference from the Prime Minister. Chris, go.
Standing at the speaker's podium is a ghoul who every inch is etched in complex, interweaving scars. His face looks like the close-up of a fingerprint. This must be Calibrach, the incumbent Prime Minister of Ghoulwatch, the scarred minister. The other ministers of Ghoulwatch are lined up behind him. Well, 5 of them. The Mirror Minister has been missing for months, and the Gallows Minister is confined to his library, and the ninth is never seen in public. I will not be contesting the upcoming election, announces the second minister, Scarred Minister, in his booming, oh so electable baritone. There are gasps of shock from the journalists around you, followed by rapid scribbling of 100 pens. I have won 7 elections and have been the Prime Minister of the city for 35 years. I am tired.
Canute, the key details.
The scarred minister answers a few other questions. Yes, he is aware of this unprecedented in Ghoulwatch history, and no, this has nothing to do with his miserable showing in the latest polls before he points at you.
Oh, hang on, I gotta do something real quick before I start that. A blood-red lily has bloomed in the gardens of the Sublime. Is this bad omen anything to do with your decision not to stand?
Sorry. The scarred minister laughs nervously. It is true that the latest bloomings of the gardens have not been promising, but Ghoulwatch is the greatest city in all the house, and the electoral candidates are impressive. I am sure we can cope with whatever is coming. When the conference is over, you stuff your notes into your bag and start to leave, but in your way is an enormously fat ghoul with a dozen gold earrings and gleaming silver-toothed grin. The name's Durgo Massive, says the ghoul, sticking out a meaty paw and shaking your hand vigorously. Don't you just love election season? A lot of money to be made, you know, especially by foreign journos like yourself.
What do you mean?
I'm talking moolah, says Durango, waving his arms. Also, you know, the chance to influence a course of history, if you're into that sort of thing. I'm what is known as a fixer, he says. We decide through the election by various legal or questionable or totally legitimate means, and the voters of Ghoulwatch pay special attention to the opinions of foreign journos. Our own writers are a milk-a-toast bunch of arse lickers, so you're perfectly placed to make a hell of a fixer, buddy. He clasped an arm around your shoulder. So I want to hire you, you and me, paving the path of history. What you say?
What exactly do you bring to this partnership?
Experience, says Durango, sweeping his arms. Panache, vim, vigor, valavoom, get up and go, local knowledge. Face it, pal, you're nothing without Durango Mastiff.
I'll take my chances.
On your own? Durango smiles sadly. Gosh, pal, you won't last a minute out in that big bad world. It's only 7 polling months until the election. You haven't even decided which candidate you'll work for. Face it, you need old Durango, too. Hey, where are you going? Come back.
Yay. Who are we gonna support?
Let's support the clowns. Is there a clown candidate?
No.
Could we support the Patchwork Emperor?
Well,
like, what are the worst candidates we can support, Noot?
We're going to support the worst candidate, but for now, let's read through them.
Missing a tongue, Edorinth communicates only in writing and signs. She favors espionage, assassination, and the keeping of secrets. The polls rank candidates as follows.
Do you
want to work for the Silent Minister?
Tell me about the Gallows Minister.
Hanging from a gibbet in his crypt library, Forlonx favors scholarship, education, and the accumulation of knowledge.
Alright.
He is 4th out of 8 in the polls.
How about the Horned Minister?
Yeah. The Hidden Boss recommends us going for the Spirit of Cargo. Abernath craves war and conquer the other civilizations of the house. He has 2 curling ram's horns atop his withered head. He is currently
3rd last.
Yeah. 5th of 8 in the polls.
The Bright Minister.
With eyes that glow so bright white they can blind the living, Berengel is obsessed with blood rituals, occultism, and sacrifice. He is 7th out of 8 in the polls.
The Carrion Minister.
Half imprisoned in, half composed of a massive heat of rotting, swarming meat and viscera, Gargantua favors decadence, hedonism, mindless pleasures, and vanity projects. He is ranked 2nd in the polls.
Tell us about the 9th Minister.
No one has seen him, but a vote for the Ninth is a vote for the destruction of Ghoulwatch and all its people. His name is Icon Whisper It. He is currently in a last place in the polls.
Yes, let's support him.
You cannot visit the Ninth Minister, of course. He dwells in the cremated district and would destroy you instantly. All of your work will be unpaid. The Ninth does not campaign in elections, and no fixer has ever worked for him before.
Ninth.
It is decided. You will try and persuade the citizens of Ghoulwatch to vote for their own destruction.
The Ghoul Watch crowd seem distinctly unimpressed and dissipate. Work on the election campaign. They want me to interview the election candidate. This could be your opportunity to not just find out more about the candidate, or more about a candidate, but make them look good to the general public. Or bad, of course. Your pen may not be merciful. Let's interview the Scarred Minister.
The scarred minister may have plunged in the polls, but his opinion still holds some weight among Ghoulwatch's undecided voters. He meets you in his stately manner, overlooking the gardens of the sublime, pours you a tumbler of whiskey, and rambles in his smooth baritone through a few well-worn anecdotes that were published in broadsheets decades ago.
What do you think Ghoul Watch's future holds?
He pauses, overlooking the gardens, his strangely etched face losing its false smile. The worst kinds of flowers have been blooming lately. Red lilies, pale bluebells, lilac, and grey roses. Bad omens. The good years are coming to an end in Ghoulwatch, and I fear what's next.
What do you think of the Ninth Minister?
I don't think this interview is an appropriate time to discuss the Ninth, says the Scarred Minister, his sonorous tones plunged in sudden frost.
I forget who the person in the lead is.
Tourmaline.
Alright. Who do you think will be the best
The Scarred Minister scratches his groove chin. Well, I can't go showing favoritism, can I? He chuckles.
But what if you did?
He chuckles and puffs a cigar and twinkles his eyes and refuses to be drawn into saying anything noteworthy.
Tell me about the Tourmaline Minister.
A bad egg, says the Scarred Minister bluntly. My voters have always known I don't lie down and let the living walk all over me. But I fear some of them have mistaken Herthudides for someone with a similar but harsh but fair approach. But he's not. He's a dangerous extremist. The Tourmaline Minister will be bad for Ghoulwatch and bad for ghouls. There it is, the kind of perfectly quotable soundbite that saw the Scarred Minister elected 7 times in a row.
Which is why it's going to be the focal point of the article.
The Scarred Minister stands silhouetted at his door, brandy in hand, watching you leave. It's only as you turn the corner that you realize you never actually saw him take a drink. You build the article around that one quote, send it off to your editor for publication. The next day it's out, and you see papers being sold and swapped and read all over Ghoulwatch. This is sure to make a splash. Still a few days before the next polls come in. What will your next move be?
Blow something up.
This little mini thing is its own little chapter almost.
Oh yeah.
We've still got like 7 more months of campaigning, right?
Yeah. Let's write a flattering piece on the Ninth Minister, which is apparently difficult. Who knows? No one writes articles praising the Ninth. Oh, I failed.
Alas. Wait for the poll results to come in. We're at 2%. The Tourmaline is at 21%.
I think I gotta do better on that one.
How long do you think this is going to take, by the way?
We're not going to be able to finish it today, that's for sure.
Yeah. Because I'm feeling this is going to take a little while.
He thinks the Silent Minister will be the best, just so you know. But the Tourmaline Minister, let's turn them against him. And write a flattering piece about the Ninth Minister.
To praise the Ninth Minister, you must go to a dark place. Your article paints a desolate picture, a city of lost souls, adrift above an abyss. Not worth saving. A stagnant political system, a democracy of unchanging, uncaring immortals, better to surrender into oblivion than persist in hell. It causes outrage, of course, but also sparks something amongst a bitter segment of the population. You see ghouls reading your article at shops and stations. There's anger and self-loathing in the air. You gained no divine scrutiny. The Ninth Minister, at 8%, is
Yeah.
now 7th in the polls.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's gotta suck that, like, as soon as the campaign starts, you're already behind someone who says, tear it down. The Hidden Boss, I didn't want to go there, but fair. Oh, and the Hidden Boss, have you ever read, uh, what's that book series? Roger Zelazny's, The Book of Amber? Oh, okay. I thought you were making a reference there with, Cargo going rogue to, Roge. There's a major plot point over that common misspelling. It's a really fun, I'd call it fantasy book. It's kind of a cross between low and high fantasy in the weirdest ways. It's also a fever dream. Crunch goes the shell of the hull. And we don't just stick it around in the city for the entire election.
No. Because you gotta leave and come back.
Do you have to make
trigger
it back
it,
in time?
No.
Okay. Because that would be very difficult if you had to actually come back once a month.
I should pay tribute to the Lord of Crows. You clamber over the wet, slick rocks of the outskirts of the falls. Closer to the column of seething white water is a landscape of spikes and outcrops, tunnels and twisting paths, all obscured by a blanket of fog. You could get lost for days if you aren't careful. Fog clings to you like cobweb. You clamber closer to the falls, carefully stepping over patches of slick algae and ducking the occasional low-hanging outcrop. As you get closer, you see something, a cavern, hidden beneath a roaring sheet of water. You climb inside, the spray of the falls soaking you to the bone. Shivering violently, you walk down a long tunnel, your feet sloshing through cold black puddles. You hear hoarse singing up ahead. Finally, you stumble into a rocky little grotto. A skinny, bearded old fellow sits half naked by a roaring campfire, playing a pair of bongos badly and singing. A dozen ghosts surround him. Is it an imagination, or are they also whispering along to the music?
Hey, Lord Grimos. Sadly, this is near the end of the stream for me and Noot today, but nice to have you on board.
You sit and sing together, you and the hermit and the ghosts, your voice just barely audible over the roaring waterfall. When the song is finished, the ghosts drift away. The hermit packs up his bongos and starts to lay down some bedding for the night. Oh well. Let's see if I have any more tribute for the Lord of Crows. Now. Now.
Oh, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the next stop's gonna be my Porter Harbor there, Noot.
What I'm gonna do is drop it off. Ooh, gunpowder. I'm gonna see if I need anything, and then I'm gonna quickly fetch Mir back to Ghoul Watch, and we'll do the last thing.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll pay 80. I'll give you 80 guineas to fuck off.
Ah!
Offer a zoological specimen. A unison caw on the totem extends a whirling tendril of crows. Your offering is picked to the bones in an instant. Images fill your mind. Naked men hanging upside down with their throats cut. A rotting white bird the size of a house. My nose begins to bleed.
Oh, we could offer them a Scud corpse.
Yep.
Neat.
We're doing that last, though.
Well, we don't even have one right on us.
Yeah. Alright, 6 polling months left.
Mm-hmm.
They want an interview with an election candidate. Let's make the Tourmaline minister look bad.
Mm-hmm. The Tourmaline minister invites you to a modern, airy school that was apparently built entirely thanks to his donations. As the plaque and statue outside attests. You walk past a tennis court and a swimming pool and eventually find him sitting in a classroom, singing in a circle with a group of child ghouls. When the song is over, the children drift away. The Tourmaline minister turns in his chair and treats you to a gleaming smile. His skin is studded with sparkling crystal, each stone nested unpleasantly in scar tissue, and his teeth are sharp diamonds. A pleasure, he says. Please, sit. It will be good to talk.
Let's ask about his controversial stance on the living.
The living do not belong here, says the Tourmaline minister. This is the city of the dead. Now, we ghouls need a living, of course, or else where would we get new ghouls? Haha. But the living should stay in the cities and their principate and where they belong. That's why I'll be safely and humanely, but forcibly, if necessary, moving all of the living out of the city when I come into power. He points to a banner hanging on a classroom wall. A ghoul watch for ghouls.
What about those that refuse to move?
The Tourmaline minister hems and haws and smiles and equivocates, but you press the issue. Finally, he snaps. If they won't move, we'll have to kill them, he says. If they aren't traitors, they will rise as ghouls and we can welcome them with open arms. He frowns at you. Don't print that, he adds, but it is too late.
You got him.
As you leave the classroom, several of the Tourmaline minister's aides push past you. They seem excited.
Let's listen at the door.
That went well, sir. One of the aides says, thank goodness for that conveniently thin door, or we wouldn't have been able to listen. You think that went well? The Tourmaline minister sounds deeply irritated. The pre-dead lunge pumping piece of shit gave me a real grilling. Only ghoul journalists from now on. Do you understand?
Hey, let's add that to the article, too.
You build the article around that one quote and send it off to your editor for publication. The next day it's out. You see your paper being sold and swapped and read all over Ghoul Watch. This is sure to make a splash. Still, a few days before the next polls come in. What will your next move be?
Let's go to the dungeon slums and hurt him even more.
Down here, the streets are swamped in cold water and sewage, and the poor live. Tend to a cell. Some ghouls pick through the refuse for coins, others lurk in the darkness with knives. No one knows how deep the dungeons go, or how many ghouls wait down here in the dark. But in election season, they suddenly mattered. How will you campaign on behalf of the 9th Minister?
Bribes.
You press coins into grubby palms and extract whispered promises. Ah yes, money, the foundation of good democracy, and never one to destroy it with rot from within. Ah yes, the 9th Minister is polling at 11th place, still 7th in the polls.
Oh, he's not 7th. He's not 7th in the polls anymore. It just didn't rearrange. I'm 6th in the poll.
No, you're 7th. You're 7th.
No, the Bright Minister is below me now.
Exactly, and the Bright Minister is 8th. There are 8 pollsters.
There's 7. 2 of them are missing, remember?
That's right. Sorry, my bad. I always thought there was 8.
Yep.
My bad. And we're 6th in the polls now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, this is a good time to call it.
Yep.
Alright. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I am Noot.
And I am Chris. Don't forget, if you want to, please feel free to join the Aux. And also take a look at the BPL's podcast service. Links to both those are on the Reddit page, as well as, I think I can do it here.
Probably.
Yeah, there's the Discord, and the link to the BPL podcast is 1 second here. I just gotta copy the link. Copy link. And there's the podcast.
Yeah.
Ta-da. And yeah, don't forget to check out the website as well. Thanks for that, Grimace.
Dang.
We got this technology ecosystem.
Man.
Get it going on.
Alright, y'all have a good day.
Cheers all. Bye-bye.